All right, great Tuesday morning, everyone. Hope you're doing well. So I'm Scott Jr. with Manufactured Home Sales Mastery, and with our 15 minutes of mastery that we do each and every day to get you some information, inspiration, and motivation so that you can go out and attack the day. Welcome to episode number 525. And no, I'm not somewhere else. I am at our home office here in San Antonio. It's just we have the backdrop out of the way. We've been shooting some content, filming some videos for some of our clients. And so that's why we've got things moved around. If you would see the office, yeah, it's everywhere. Hey, hope you're having a great day and getting the day started off right. Yesterday, we got to talking about humanizing your buyers, right? We talk about all the time humanizing the buying experience, but we want to humanize the buyer. We want to look at your potential clients, your potential buyers as people, because that's what they are. When you can approach every situation in that manner, understanding that that person on the other end of the line, the person sitting across from you, is a human being, is a person in need of help, you'll operate differently. Things will go differently. You'll make better connections, and even more so. And as we go throughout this week, we're gonna stick on that subject because we want to make sure that everyone understands just how important it is to treat them like people. Right. And today we're talking about listening to understand, not listening to respond. Dean Jackson writes this: listening is an art that requires attention over talent, spirit over ego, others over self. Listen to this again. Listening is an art that requires attention over talent. Doesn't matter how good you are, doesn't matter how smooth you are. If you're not paying attention, you're not listening to people to understand what they're going through, it does not matter. Spirit over ego, true kindness, true empathy, wanting to help, rather than you feeling like you got all the answers. And so you've got to be able to go through this and they've got to listen to you. And then finally, others over self, understanding that you're here to serve. You're not here to do anything but serve. You're a servant leader. And so as such, we've got to operate differently. So that's the great thing. I love that whole quote. Now, think about it this way, okay? Think about a family that's sitting in front of somebody who is constantly interrupting, who is constantly interjecting. You know, you've got a family that's talking about themselves, their situation, their needs, their wants, and that consultant, because maybe it's just that they feel they've got enough experience, keeps interrupting you. Oh yeah, well you probably need this, or and starts finishing sentences for customers. You're quick to want to say things all of the time. That could get frustrating for the people on the other side of the desk, on the other end of the phone, because they don't do this every single day. And when you are constantly interrupting and when you are constantly there thinking that you know what's going on just because you've done this for a long time, all you're doing is turning those people off. All you're doing is really creating a harder situation for yourself when you act in this manner, as opposed to that same family sitting across from a true professional that is listening, taking it all in, making notes, maybe even asking deeper questions into certain things to get a better understanding. And when you do that, you see it comes across differently to your buyer. When you do that, now they're truly thinking to themselves that you want to really understand their situation, that this, what they're sharing with you, it's as important to you as it is to them. Far too many times, housing consultants will just be listening to the words, you know, where we're sitting there, you're sitting there and you're paying attention, but it just sounds like words to you. It just sounds, you're just hearing them, but you're not listening to them. And there's a huge difference between the two. So many of us have heard this before, but when you are sitting across from a family that is sharing some of their emotional needs, sharing the emotional reason why they're trying to buy a home, maybe they've got a situation going on with family, maybe it's something that they're in a rush to get out because their life is being uprooted because the person who owns the home or whatnot, wherever they're renting, is selling the place out from under them. And when we're not truly just giving them that platform to be able to speak to you and let you in on what's going on in their life, you start to shut them out. They start feeling unimportant. And you also miss opportunities to be able to help them. Because in those words, in that message, in what they're sharing with you, is also the answer. It's the solution. It's the way to be able to make this move forward in an easier manner. But you're too busy thinking, oh my God, I got to get to the next one. Or, you're thinking about all these other things. And so you're not truly paying attention, you're not listening to understand, but rather listening to respond. You see, high performers know the difference between the two. High performers are really going to even dive deeper into that conversation. They're going to take their time. They're going to listen to what they've got going on. And believe me, look, I'm not one of the most patient people around. However, I will tell you this. When I'm sitting with a person that is looking to buy a home every time, even now when we're out and about, whether it's doing a training class or we're doing consulting for any of our clients, if I'm on the phone with somebody, I'm slowing down. I'm taking my time. I'm asking the questions. I'm having a conversation. I'm getting to know the person. I'm trying to do everything I can to get that person to get to know me, feel comfortable with me, build that relationship and trust with me. When they come into the office, it's the same thing. Slow down. I slow down in order to go fast. I slow down in order to understand. Because, like I mentioned before, in that conversation, they are going to share what is going to work for them in order to be able to go through this process in a manner that's going to give them the outcome they want and you the outcome that you want. In other words, they're telling you how to sell them. Even though no one wants to be sold, you have to understand every person that comes in and sits in front of you, they wouldn't be there. They wouldn't be on the other end of the line if they didn't want to get a home. So if you take the time enough to understand them and listen to them, ask deeper questions, follow up those questions with other questions, you'll not only get to the root of the situation or the problem that's leading them to be there in front of you, but you're also going to find out what is going to resonate with them. What you can do in order to help them make that decision they wanted to make. But far too many of us want to speed up because you're thinking of the next. You're thinking of something else that you got to get done rather than that person on the other end of the line or sitting in front of you. And I tell everybody, love the one you're with, right? You hear me talk about, I encourage you, double book. You never know who's going to show up and who's not going to show up. And if they both show up, that's a great problem to have. You can have somebody else on your team help the other person, the other family. But when you do have somebody in front of you, that's the priority. When you have somebody on the phone, that is the priority, always. Because you are the person that is going to help them accomplish not just becoming a homeowner. Look, becoming a homeowner is the solution to the problem they have. You are going to be the person that solves the problem. We are all problem solvers. It doesn't matter. Right now, yesterday we were having a team meeting. We were talking about trying to get some interns for some different things that we have going on that we need help with. You see, we have a problem. And that person or people who decide to submit applications for this internship are going to be the solution. They can provide the solution. Now, it's up to them whether or not they do. So every one of us, no matter what you do in life, you're all problem solvers when it comes to whatever it is that you do for your career. So slow down, listen to understand, not to respond. So what are the best ways that you can do this? Look, we're going to run through the top 5 ways that you can listen to understand and take that whole transaction, if you will. I hate calling it a transaction, but the whole process, the whole consultation in a whole different direction. Okay. First and foremost, ask follow-up questions. Don't give comments. Don't give solutions. Don't give answers. Ask follow-up questions to whatever it is that they're talking about. Dig in deeper, find out more, build more of a connection, help them feel understood, help them feel that you truly care. What's the best way that you can show someone you care? Actually care. Actually care enough to listen and ask follow-up questions. Next thing you want to do is make eye contact and use body language. Make eye contact and use body language. It's so important. When somebody's sharing this information, look at them, not at your phone, not at your desk, not at your computer. Give them your attention. Lean in to the conversation. When they share things that are powerful, and some families will share some things that are very, very powerful. Thank you, Ian. Appreciate you being with us, man. But listen, we've got to be able to get into this and really pay attention to them. Next thing you want to do is recap what they're saying. So if I understand correctly, or from what I understand, you're telling me that this is going on, or you're telling me that this is what's important to you. If I'm hearing you correctly, this is what you want to accomplish. Recap what they shared with you. Not only is it going to help you retain that information, but it's also going to make an impact with that family, with that buyer, because you're actually paying attention. So recap what they're saying. Also important, man, don't interrupt. You may have heard this situation. You may have found the perfect home for families just like the one sitting in front of you, dozens, if not hundreds of times. But it doesn't mean that you cut them short. It doesn't mean that you interrupt. It doesn't mean that you interject. Too many of us, I've had it happen. I've done it before. And I've caught myself in the middle of it. Like, why are you even saying something? Let people talk. And lastly, pause before responding. Before you say something, take a little minute, right? Where we called it a planned pause, but it just pause a little bit. Pause before you respond, because it shows that you're thinking. The people will pick up on it, and you'll give a better response. You'll make a bigger impact. You'll be able to help more families. You'll actually create that trust, that bond, that connection, everything that we talk about that's important in sales, because we all say sales is relationships. Well, then slow down. Treat them as people. Listen to understand, not to respond. Listen to be better for them. Because remember what the quote said, right? It's others before self. Think of them before yourself. When you handle it that way, things will be so much easier. We're going to continue on with this subject as we go throughout the week. We're going to be filming some more content here, filming some more videos, putting together things for not just what we've got going on in Manufactured Home Sales Mastery, but also other things that we're bringing to you. Marissa's going to be recording another podcast, or some information for the podcast that you'll see later on this week. The Built to Lead podcast, Women in Manufactured Housing. You know that we've got the Manufactured to Win podcast. The vlog will be coming out later tonight as well, with a bunch of whole information from, or just content and behind the scenes footage from our trip to Indiana, a trip last week in Tyler. There's so much out there. And if you haven't seen it also, we've got new resource that we put out every Monday. It's called The Shift. All right. And go on any platform. You'll see the link there. The Shift. It's a weekly recap. We've got different articles. We've got different information, not just on us, but on the industry, because we want to highlight you. We've got our Maverick of the Week in there. I believe it's Tracy Garza from Mobile Home Masters in Tyler. We've got Marissa put a great article together on recognition as well, because recognition in the industry is so important, something that's missed from a lot of companies. So there's a lot of great info in there. Go out and check it out. The Shift. It comes out every Monday. It's there for you guys as a resource. And if you'd like to be a part of it, reach out to us. We'd love to highlight you on there as well. So anyway, go out, do great things this Tuesday. And if there's anything that we can do on our end here at Manufactured Home Sales Mastery to help take your life, your business, and your career to a whole new level, you know that's what we're here to do. Have a great Tuesday. We'll be back in tomorrow with another 15 minutes of mastery. And until then, my friends, as always, can't wait to meet you.